8:35, you're tuned into the Lieutenant Eric Show / the Nielsen Show here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Will Fraser and again, Dustin scheduled back Monday. YouTube Trev producing the program and setting up the mics as we do. We got a pair of people in, Mike and Brett. They'll be in for, and you're going to have to... let me know on the structure of this because I've been sent a lot of titles, Campio, Bear Hill, how this whole, you're going to have to show me how the whole structure of everything kind of comes out here today. But Mike and Brett, we appreciate your time. This is Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. Your next chance at $50 to Sobeys and Safeway Liquor will be coming up a little later on in the segment. But Brett,
yes,
Mike,
yep.
Welcome to the studio.
Thanks.
How are you guys doing today? I guess you can, for right now, you can share this mic, take turns here. Yeah, get right into it. But where are you from? Tell the listeners and viewers a little bit about yourselves and why you're here today.
I'm Brett. I'm the head brewer for Campio Brewing. To break down, I guess, what Campio versus Bear Hill versus Albeerta is. Bear Hill would be the overarching company. We have a whole family of breweries. You can see all of them in front of us here. Banff Ave, Jasper Brewing, which would have been the original. Campio, which is the brewery I work for, downtown Edmonton, 3 blocks maybe from Rogers Place.
Great pizzas.
I was going to say, if you've been to an Oilers game, you've probably been pre-game. A little secret is we have a parking lot that if you come early enough, buy yourself a pint. You can scan yourself in, park for free downtown.
Hey, now.
Now, there's not that many spots, so come early.
Yeah. No guarantees.
Potential free parking downtown before an Oilers game.
Bit of a speakeasy. Yeah.
Or just have that friend who's willing to stand for 45 minutes in a parking spot.
Just in the spot,
Well, there are people out there,
We're
right?
almost there. We're almost there. Just picking 3 more people up.
And then we also have Last Best, which is our brewery in Calgary, and then Babe, which is kind of an offshoot brand, kind of started out of Jasper.
We sampled that a few times on this segment.
It started in Jasper Brewing, and then it's kind of become its own little thing, kind of fruity, approachable beers, kind of an intro to craft beer for some people, I would say.
Now, Mike. The Mike.
Yeah. So I'm Mike. I'm one of the sales guys based out of Edmonton for Bear Hill Brewing, and kind of like what Brett said, Bear Hill is kind of the mother company, and underneath is the 4 brew pubs where we have Jasper Brewing, Banff Ave Brewing, Last Best out of Calgary, and then Campio out of Edmonton. So my job is to sell the beer into liquor stores, restaurants, bars, any of that kind of place in Edmonton.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people are saying this candy lineup looks real familiar. And I mean, you've seen these beers out and about, but on this segment as well over the years. And this Albeerta, the Greatest Hits mix, that will be the beer of the week kind of pack, correct, for this week?
Yeah, that's the beer of the week. In the flyer right now, it's on the back page, front and center, kind of 2 for $45. So awesome price on the beer, and it's just a fantastic mix pack of some of our greatest hits that we have.
Yeah, when you buy 2, save $17 right now, and you mentioned it, 2 for $45 or $25.99 each, but you might as well get 2. It's going to be snowing today. Get a couple of these packs, and you'll be You'll be all set for the weekend. Well, let's get right into it then. What do you want to sample first in terms of how we should go about all these fancy ass beers here?
Yeah, I always like to go lightest to heaviest, I guess, in flavor. Normally I'd say lightest to darkest, but they're all kind of pale.
Yep.
But we'll start with the Banff Ave Rider Dry. It's kind of the light lager in our family of beers.
Yeah. A few Banff pub crawls have started with this very beer.
Troy the Godfather's in the house. I did invite him yesterday. Why not? It's Friday. It's always good to see him always shows up around Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week, though. It's quite a coincidence.
Every Friday.
Yeah, every Friday. Yeah. 2 packs for $45 is a steal of a deal. Spency 5 cents, he says. Yeah, you're telling us. Giant Mike says, what a salesman, I'm sold. So you're doing they don't need any more convincing.
If Giant Mike's happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So Banff Ave Rider Dry, like I said, it's the light lager of our catalog of beers. Ultra light, crisp, but still quite flavorful for a light lager. 4.2%, so pretty sessionable. Really good for like post-hike, post-mountain, snowboarding kind of deal. But it also packs a pretty good amount of flavor for being such a light beer. Light in color as well as if you look at it.
Or if you're like Will, a post-run.
or post run.
Hey,
could have
somebody's
a
been paying
post-run.
attention here. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I would run to this. actually.
Yeah. Well, cheers to Campio
guys.
as
Cheers,
well.
guys.
I love
Yeah,
the
cheers.
glasses. This is great.
Cheers. Yeah, cheers. Awesome.
Yeah, I know this taste. I know this beer.
So it uses Nelson Sauvin hops, which is a hop from New Zealand. So that's where you kind of get that like white grapey, like Sauvignon Blanc kind of thing.
That's totally what it is.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the background of the pretty light, easy drinking beer.
Love it. So where are we going next here? Let's keep knocking them down.
Next,
This
we'll move
looks like an
to-
old friend.
Yeah, this one
Yeah.
I'm sure if you've been in Alberta long enough, you've had a chance to try. Jasper Brewing, coming on 20 years. It'll be 20 years this spring, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how they were able to bottle the Marmot Basin parking lot. But that's exactly what Chris Pills is.
That's pretty
Well,
funny.
even so many like craft, all the can, like I love the art and I love the sticking out, but having just that simple kind of Parks Canada feel to it
Yeah.
stands the test of time to me. Great branding.
Yeah, a lot of work has gone into working with like Parks Canada to be able to use this branding.
bet, yeah.
But yeah, our company has a really good relationship with Parks and kind of work together on certain things. I mean, I think it's kind of what's the word I'm working for? It works really well for both of us. You know, the brewery helps draw people into Jasper. The branding
synergy?
helps pull people. That's a good word. There it is. Helps pull people to the brewery.
Speaking of which, any update? I know Will loves going. I love going to Jasper myself. You know, a couple of times a year and whatnot, and going down to the brewery there. But any updates on them specifically, and
Yeah,
when people
so,
can kind of visit again?
So yes, I was listening yesterday. Actually, you guys were talking about Jasper and how the town's kind of open and really wanting people to come back. That is very true. The brewery itself currently not open. It wasn't burnt by the fire, but the building right next door
Was
taken
bulldozed down, yeah.
I'm sure maybe you've seen the pictures. And then with that, and then just with all the fire prevention, it kind of got flooded. So it is closed under basically a full reconstruction.
No real TBD or timeline type of.
Like you never know with these things.
Yeah.
Everybody's working pretty hard
Yeah,
to move things
yep.
along. Parks is really doing a good job of expediting things, keeping things moving. The goal is the spring. We'd really like to be open for the spring because that's the 20th anniversary. We'll see how it goes.
Great pretzels there too. Some of the
Yeah.
best pretzel game I've had at
Right.
that brewery.
It's the wings, though.
Yeah, the wings. That's where you
Yeah,
go.
the wings are so good.
So we've been really lucky to work with some contract partners to keep the beer in cans, keep our core brands in kegs, to keep the beer flowing through some of the other restaurants that are currently in Jasper, including another one that our company owns. We actually have a whiskey brand as well that just
okay.
launched. It's called the Moline Range. So we actually did just open that restaurant. It was supposed to open the weekend of the fire.
Yeah, that's right.
It opened 6 weeks, 7 weeks later, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe after. Yeah. Anyways, it is open now. You can get Jasper beers in there, and then also some really nice whiskeys, Canadian whiskeys, some barbecue. But the brewery itself, yeah, spring. We're gonna come back with some new equipment out of it, which I guess is a plus side. Hopefully, we'll be able to make even better beer.
For you skiers and Jasper lovers as well, Marmot, was it yesterday or
Yeah,
today? Yesterday.
this weekend for
This
sure.
weekend, yeah, with the opening of those runs. So, to Jasper Brewing, I guess, hey, in the town of Jasper. Why not, eh? Cheers, boys.
I guess I didn't really say anything about the beer, but I mean, it's a pretty classic Pilsner
Chris
style
Pills,
bill. I mean,
you
kind of
know
says
it,
all.
you
Yeah.
love it, yeah.
Yeah.
Part of this Alberta Greatest Hits mix pack as well. That is the deal right now for Sobeys Liquor.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock, Marmot Basin parking lot.
Yeah, there it is.
We've circled back to the cars.
Yeah, perfect.
Surveyor
Love the
Brett says, good jibs on both of you guys. You're killing it in the YouTube Nasty Chat. People are really loving the vibe here. I love it.
Thank you.
Rob from the Grove, though, says weak pores laugh out loud.
Yeah,
Somebody-
well,
hey,
the glass
it's a big-
versus can size.
It's
is
a
not,
big pack here. Yeah, we gotta, and that's the it's the visual
It is a
illusion.
weak pour, and Yeah, you got probably you got
Bottom of the
half
can.
and half.
The
You
end
get
of
the
it.
first pour and the
The
next
end of
one.
it.
But that's how he spends a Friday night, anyways. He's just going around to empty tables, finishing off
That's
whatever's
the way to
left.
do it, baby.
Taking all the heels and he's just taking them.
2 for $45. That's the deal on these bad boys right now from Sobeys and Safeway Liquor. It is the Albeertas Greatest Hits mix. When you buy 2, you save 17, or you can get them single for $25.99. Let's keep going here. I see that tall boy.
So yeah, I'm kind of breaking up the mix pack with. I had to throw a Campio beer in, being that I am actually the head brewer of Campio, not these other breweries.
Yep.
This is our light rail pale ale, hazy pale, citrusy, fruity. There's a little bit of a coconutty vibe in there from some Sabro hops. Citra is the other hop in there, actually the more dominant hop, which provides that like grapefruit, orange peel kind of deal. Again, pretty light, sessionable, not particularly bitter. Modern brewing, I'm sure, has been talked about on the show. Kind of takes the hop forward beers away from the bitterness that you might find in, say, this Last Best IPA
Yep.
from originally brewed 10 years ago. In modern or current IPA brewing, we take all that like hop bitterness and we move it later in the process, which brings out more floral, more citrus, more aromatics, and less bitterness. So more flavor, more aroma.
Love it.
Yes.
I just say it's good.
That's why people like the cut of your jib here.
That's the
Speaking
salesman
language.
right there.
Yeah, speaking the language, man. We're from Brett from Campio in the middle here.
So-
Mike as well from Bear Hill joining us today.
As the brewer Campio,
Sure.
like cloudy beers have obviously taken over the market, Nepas
Absolutely, yeah.
and what have you, and you guys don't miss.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Like honestly, like every time I'm in Campio, it like I'll just be like, well, give me whatever sort of Nepa is the new thing. And so is that kind of your, have you personally sort of been like, this is something I like to play around in?
I mean, yeah, hazy IPAs for sure is definitely something you can, there's a lot of room to play.
Yeah.
Every hop variety comes with its own flavor profile, its own aromas. So you can take kind of the same base recipe, throw a different hop in the dry hop and make a completely different thing.
Yeah.
I have, personally put a lot of time in my career, coming on 10 years, into hazies,
'Kay.
especially in the last
Well,
five or so.
it shows.
Yeah, well, I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
it shows.
This one is just like kind of the brew crew go to 4.5%. It's really good for like an after work pint. Easy drinking. It's not going to affect your next pint. Where like a real bitter IPA, you might not taste the next beer you have, which is why I slid it at the end.
The Tombstone Pile Driver down there. Yeah.
But yeah, this is just kind of the one that everyone drinks around.
This beer, in my opinion, is one of the best beers that Brett makes. It's a fantastic beer, super sessionable. You can, on the golf course, easy to drink. Brett makes a lot of beers, but this by far is the favorite beer that we make out of Campio.
Okay,
I
great.
love
Brett
it.
makes.
Okay, well, let's see if it stands up to the to the
to
proper-
Brett.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Yeah, to Brett.
Cheers to
Brett.
Brett.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's loving
Cheers.
it.
Oh yeah, all day long.
How'd you guys get into what you're doing right now? You can each answer whatever, but I mean, I know a lot of people get different routes to this whole brewery, and again, you said sales, that's a
Yeah.
different type, but were you more in a different realm when it came to the beer and the liquor and everything, or just always kind of a sales background, that type of thing?
I've always been in sales on the beverage side.
Okay.
So I worked for a couple breweries for about 16 years, and I graduated from NAIT, and
Ooks Nation.
that was back when on the job boards there was like post-it like notes on the board, and I took one, and it was actually to work at Pepsi.
Okay.
And that's where everything for me started, and yeah, it's just kind of evolved into the beer side, and I love the atmosphere. It's a fun social environment. We get to do cool stuff like this, and you know, we sell beer, we make beer for a living, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Like a brewmaster, that's hard stuff. You got to know what you're doing. Not to say you don't, but selling
fair
it,
enough.
going around and meeting people and having lunches and everything. I mean, it does sound like a bit of a dream job.
Yes, it is.
Like you can admit it. I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
Yeah. I'm very fortunate to be able to do what I do,
Yeah.
and have a very good work-life balance
Yeah.
while I'm able to do it. So, it's an awesome job to have, and I get to work with awesome people like Brett, and you know, my coworkers, they're all good. So it's a fun work environment to be part of.
And Brett, you mentioned a bit of a radio background as well with you. You know my
Yes.
wife as well, but
that's true. And
how
actually,
did you? Yeah.
I was just gonna say, Tommy just walked in. I also graduated from Nate from the radio broadcasting program.
So
I went to school
Danae
the same year
and
as Tommy.
Ryan Meyer. Hey, yeah, Ryan Meyer. And look at this.
Hey.
I love it. Yeah.
Good to see
It's
you.
a reunion,
Things just
baby.
got better looking.
He found out there's beer.
Yeah, and then I did a few years in small town Alberta radio. If anyone remembers the Goat in Bonnyville.
Yeah.
Or still listens to the Goat in Lloydminster.
Lloyd,
Spent a
yeah.
little bit of time there.
And then thought, I've got to choose something else.
Yeah, I don't want to be fired.
Kept getting laid off.
Yeah.
Kind of figured
I don't think this radio thing's a growth thing.
It's a common story. Yeah.
something about making 25K and working the night shift wasn't really working for me anymore. Then I just kind of did some random warehousing jobs. This might turn into a long story. I did some random warehousing jobs. Then I did a working holiday in the UK.
Whereabouts?
London.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was living in London. We were moving to Camden Town. I Googled jobs in Camden Town. There was a warehousing job at
Chimney
Camden.
sweep.
Yeah. There was a warehousing job at the Camden Town Brewery.
Okay.
I literally was driving a forklift up and down a cobblestone street for a couple years.
Cool.
So that's how I got into the industry, I guess. Kind of fell in love with
These
it.
are all good choices. Like, have you made a bad move?
I'm loving the path.
Yeah.
It's trending up.
That's some good life choices.
And then from there, when our visas expired and we had to come back to Alberta, I like to say I applied to every brewery in town, which in 2016 was Yellowhead, which is
Yep.
Campio's neighbor. That's no longer there.
Sure.
Well, the brewery's there, but nobody operates it. And Alley Caps, and I got a job on the Alley Cap packaging line, and then it's just kind of been
That's great.
growth from there.
Yeah.
Alley Cat as well, and I'm just going to mention this right now. They do have their 6 o'clocker lager feature right now through the Christmas season, $12.99 for a 4-pack. Just want to throw that out with our good friends at Alley Cat. But Yellowhead too, they used to put on some good shows there, like live music and stuff. Is that still a thing too? You said they brew still, but there's no.
No, it's just an empty space. Like the brewery's still there, all the tanks are still there. You can see through the window, but it's not currently under operation.
Yeah, they had some ripping shows there over the past few years. Well, let's get back to the tasting, shall we, boys? What do we got under?
Charlie's he's taking it right to the last drop.
Jeez, he's really enjoying that one there. Yeah.
Really good.
So next up then is Babe. It'll be the Tangerine Dream. So it's a kind of just like a pretty basic lager recipe underneath, and then after it's finished fermenting, it gets blended out with tangerine juice and purees.
This is a hit around here.
Yeah, this is kind of a hit for
yeah.
everybody. Sometimes it gets me a little bit because I'll have friends, they'll go to Campio and they'll say, oh, we tried everything on tap. My favorite was the Tangerine Dream. I'm like, well, that's the one I didn't make.
Yeah. Everything had a real bad aftertaste except for that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you.
But yeah, no, it's definitely a crowd pleaser. I feel like kind of anybody could pick this up and enjoy it. It's kind of like a shandy or something, though still like 5% alcohol.
I've had a few post-hike babes at the patio at Jasmine
Go
Pizza.
on.
There you go.
Yeah. Will you, dog?
So I mean, it's kind of mimosa-y,
Yeah. Oh, it's
beer
great.
mosa, I guess.
Yep.
Not much more to say. Fruit juice and beer mixed together, basically.
But a real, you can. I mean, again, it's with all that said, kind of an up and down line of beer. You can have it different times of the day, different occasions, different types of thing. Not necessarily fitting in one specific
Works
slaughter.
good with breakfast and dinner.
Exactly. Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah, there's never a bad time to go to Campio. Like, because you're always going to find a beer to hit at whatever time of day you're showing up for.
And let's talk more about the pizzas.
Yeah,
Is there like, man, those are good. You got to. There's a McDavid one too. That's still in the menu as
Yes,
well, right?
correct,
The
always.
Connor
Yeah,
McDavid
yeah.
or whatever. Just quickly on the pizza for people who don't know. If you've never been to Campio Brewing downtown, the
and Banff
specific-
Avenue does the same pizzas, and they're
Same style.
It's the Detroit
killer.
style.
Detroit style, yeah.
Detroit style. And I wasn't aware before. Campio educated me on this whole process. But just what can people expect from if you're dining at Campio first time in the pizzas, that type of thing?
Yeah, so the pizza's, like Detroit style. So it's like a deeper dish pizza.
The pan,
but it's also like a rectangular shape.
square corners.
Yeah, square corners. The kind of the key, I guess, identifier of a good Detroit pizza is like the crown of like crispy cheese that builds up along the side of the pan.
Damn it! I'm
getting hungry.
Why did I ask?
It's so good.
This is all your fault.
So yeah, I mean, it's like nice, like fluffy, chewy dough,
Yeah.
crispy crusts. and a lot of sauce kind of smeared across the top.
So
Rob
good.
from the Grove says the pepperoni is the best. I've gone down on that a couple of times. I can agree with you there, Rob. But yeah, check it out today. Campio Brewing downtown. You mentioned the parking as well, which is a great little
Yeah, a
side
little
cart.
secret,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, that's a bit of a speakeasy. Yeah. Well, cheers to the
Cheers,
babe.
guys.
Cheers to the pizza
Yeah,
as well.
cheers.
Cheers to
Love
whoever
it.
brewed this.
Yes. Whoever brewed this.
Whoever it is. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, like
Here we are.
you could run into trouble because your kids would drink this for breakfast.
That's just it.
You might see it in the glass.
The look and the taste, very good. Up and down the lineup, that beer can play throughout the day. That's just delicious. We're here with Mike and Brett, Campio and Bear Hill. Once again, the deal this week for the Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. You're looking at the Alberta Greatest Hits Mix Pack. 2 for $45. You're saving $17 when you buy 2, or $25.99 each.
Yeah, that's a gateway beer drug, is what that is.
That should be on the can.
Yeah, that's
Babe,
that,
gateway beer.
That's that friend that's like, I don't really like
don't know about
beer.
this beer
and you're
stuff.
always
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but you drink bad beer. That's why you don't like
And
beer.
that's just it.
And so
Yeah.
you give them one of these, and they're like, oh, that's beer.
That's beer.
And the same could be said about the pizza.
Yeah.
I don't really like pizza. You've
Yeah.
had bad pizza.
Yeah.
You keep eating the Baron
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
grocery
You
store.
got
Yeah,
to
yeah,
try the
yeah.
PB&J pizza. PB&J,
I've had that.
It is a phenomenal pizza.
So good.
It's
Okay.
pineapple, bacon, and jalapenos. It is phenomenal.
If my wife is catching any of this, she's going to be hungry all day.
Well, it's-
because anytime we're kind of like, what do you want to do? She's always like, Campio.
We're gonna go there. You and I were gonna
Yeah.
dine with our wives, and we had Campio as that rectangular, square, crispy crust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
corner
thinking
is
of it
so
right
good.
now.
Yeah.
Let's just all take a moment to sigh into the microphones here, because that's what it requires.
She likes to have like a weekly, like she's got a group of friends. And
Yeah,
they'll,
yeah.
they'll go to a different place.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, she comes home and goes, we should have got a Campio.
Yeah, no, it's too good. It's too good. Spacious, great staff.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a great place to check out. Let's finish it off
And
with
snowball
the,
fights in the patio now.
Yeah.
great patio as well.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah. Fenced off, nice and private there. Yeah. But
And it's big. It's big enough you could have a real war. Like you could build forts
Yeah.
and everything.
Oh yeah,
It's
spare
like
no
a
expense.
paintball field.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bit of a cover and everything. Yeah. What do we got for the final here, the finale?
So yeah, last one will be fittingly from Last Best. Last Best
the
IPA.
exact opposite of the Babe.
Yeah, the exact opposite of the Babe.
yeah.
Also kind of the opposite of Light Rail Pale Ale. Kind of a more classic IPA, West Coast style, as they would call it these days. So a little less hazy, ideally a little more clear. Might be craft beer clear, as we say
Yeah.
some days.
But this is what the craft beer revolution was built upon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
This kind of style started it all as far as like craft beer. This will hit that kind of classic profile. Definitely is going to be more bitter than anything we've had as of yet. But still going to have a pretty bright citrus character, a little bit of a floral aroma to it as well. But it's definitely going to pack a little more punch maybe than the rest have. And also coming in at 6%,
6.5.
6.5%. 6.5% obviously will do a little bit more too. But I actually like genuinely, and even before working for Bear Hill as a company, I think this Last Best IPA is like the best example of a West Coast style in Alberta. It's a very, very, very good beer.
And
Mike
you
and
brew
Brett
this?
here again.
I don't brew this either.
Okay.
No,
No,
this
okay.
is, this
So
is
it's going to
brewed-
be delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the best ones are
Yeah, no, this is
outside of
brewed out in
Brett's.
Calgary. Our brewery in Calgary in the Beltline, Last Best.
Mike from Bear Hill, Brett from Campio. We appreciate your time today. This is the final beer again of the Alberta Greatest Hits Mix. Right now, it is your Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. Cheers, boys, to the Greatest
guys.
Hits
Cheers.
Mix Pack. Yeah, get it today.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I spent a lot
That's
of
full.
time,
That's good.
especially again in the last part of my career, like trying to get IPAs to be less and less bitter. But then every once in a while you get back to a beer like this and you're like, oh yeah, I remember why we like to make them this way 10 years ago.
Absolute. Text
Yeah, you don't
in,
want a whole evening of just this.
No.
But this actually works really well as far as to mix it into everything else, kind of. I really like that. That's fantastic.
Text Beer Me right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, Beer Me, and you'll be all put into a hat, and the winner will have $50 to Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, where you can pick up one of these nice boxes. Again, it's going to snow. Two for 45.
That gift card
yes.
gets you $2 and $5.
The two, that's what it is today. Quite right. $45, two of these packs. $25.99 each, but if you're buying two, you're saving $17, $45, $50 to Sobeys. Text Beer Me right now. It's gonna be great for the weekend. It's gonna snow today. Get a couple of these bad boys. Maybe get some Campio pies to go as well, and hunker down. It's gonna be great. We appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming into studio. Thanks for bringing the suds. And we have one more question here. Rob from the Grove. Now I lost everybody's texting and Beer Me here. Here he is. Can they repeat the parking hack or let me know on here? One more time, maybe the speakeasy, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just that we have a parking lot that if you come into the restaurant, you can park in for free until
Which is
11
nice and
o'clock.
close to the...
Yeah, up to 11 o'clock the next morning. As long as you come in, you got to scan the QR code at the front and put in your details. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. Just, it's not the hugest parking lot. There's maybe 15 stalls or something. So, like, if you want to get one, you might have to come early. But
No guarantees.
Yeah.
No guarantees.
Yeah.
But the parking lot right behind the building is like $24 for the evening.
For the evening, yeah.
That's a few pints.
Yep.